A gritty character study of Arthur Fleck, a man disregarded by society. Hey guys, and welcome to my new movie review for Joker. Directed by the brilliant Todd Phillips. Now, if Todd Phillips rings a bell, he's actually the one who directed the Hangover trilogy, and I think the Hangover trilogy is incredible. And by extremely unpopular opinion, completely unpopular opinion, the cast of this movie is Joaquin Phoenix, and I personally am not a fan at all in Joaquin Phoenix in any way, shape or form. I know that's an unpopular opinion, I know it is, but I'm just not a fan of him whatsoever. This came out this year in 2019. This movie is rated MA15+. In my personal opinion, I have no idea in any way, shape or form why it was given that rating. This should be a hard R rated movie. Seriously, I don't understand what the MA15+, why they gave it that. When I talk about this movie, you'll understand completely. It goes for 2 hours and 1 minute, and it's a crime drama thriller. As I said, the cast of this is Joaquin Phoenix, Robert De Niro, who plays Murray Franklin, and Zazie Beetz, who plays Sophie Dunham. I think that's how you say her last name. Anyone who's been following me for any period of time knows that I really like to talk about the bad stuff about the movies, and then I like to talk about the things I like about the movies. And straight off the bat, guys, I'm not going to lie to you in any way, shape or form. If you've seen my first reaction to this, I beg you with all of my heart, don't take your children to see this movie. Please, don't take your children to see this movie. This isn't a laughing matter. There's things and elements of this movie that are so messed up, that are so ridiculously messed up, that I would never ever let a child watch this. This is honestly 18+, maybe. This is a very hardcore ending. The last act of this movie is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. This isn't a DC comic movie, even though right at the end, it says that it's made by DC. In fact, that was one of the things that kind of surprised me about this movie, was the opening of how it's actually I think it's Warner Brothers like original logo. I think it is, before they actually became a massive franchise, because it was just the lines and the dot. It was like the W, like Warner Brothers. But the actual Warner Brothers logo is right at the end of the movie, like right after all the credits and the DC logo. The other thing that annoyed me about this movie, guys, is in my opinion, this movie is too long. It's way too long. The first act, they could have cut off the first half an hour of this movie, like easily. There's moments of this movie where you're watching it and it's so ridiculously, awkwardly uncomfortable that I was like, there was times that I was like, get on with it. Like, get on with it. Make something happen already. And nothing happens in this movie until the end of this movie, which is so unfortunate because, as I said, it goes for 2 hours. This is one of those movies where it really questions humanity. It really does. A gentleman who was walking in front of me down the stairs as I was leaving the cinema, he stopped and turned around and he said, what an absolute load of waste of my time. What an absolute load of garbage to humanity this movie was. That was from his mouth, guys. This is from someone, I didn't even know him. Some total random stranger guy just turns around and he's like, what was that rubbish? That paints a picture of what this movie is, guys. Seriously. Something else that I didn't like about this movie, guys, was there's plot twists in this movie, but right at the end of this movie, it makes you question whether the movie happened at all, literally. And there's a sequence in this movie, no spoilers, I don't do spoilers. There's a sequence in this movie right at the end that I literally went, seriously? Like, really? We have to go there again? You can tell that this is trying to birth a franchise by how it ended. It's trying to birth a franchise. Now, the good things about this movie, guys, is the character interaction. They did well with that. In fact, the cinematography and the way that Todd Phillips shot this movie was brilliant, masterful, absolutely incredible. But as I said at the beginning of this movie review, guys, I'm not a fan of Joaquin Phoenix, and I never have been a fan of Joaquin Phoenix. And so much of this movie, I rolled my eyes at. I just went, what? What? And I know that's not going to be a popular opinion. I know it's not. All film is subjective, guys. But in my personal opinion, this movie does not hit the ground running. This movie does not have rewatchability to it, in my personal opinion. It's one of those movies, guys, that once you've seen it, especially the ending of it, you're like, what in the world? What are you doing? There's people in life who genuinely have mental illnesses. They have something wrong with them, and there's nothing that it's not something that they've been able to manage themselves. It's a thing that they deal with in their everyday struggles of life. And this movie taps into that, and I think to some people this movie is going to be a giant spit in the face to that area of humanity. Seriously. And please understand that I understand that this is a movie. It's not real. It isn't real. It's a movie. They're acting this stuff out. But unfortunately, there's people in this world that they're not right in their head, and they see stuff like this and they want to do things about it. But you don't need to. And fighting and violence doesn't outcome to anything. It's like when people comment something negative, or they're like, oh, you're a retard, or whatever they want to say in the comment section. And you're like, they're just words, man. They're just words. Do you know what I mean? You're just being hateful and just being rude. Look, deleted, done. Do you know what I mean? This movie really is, at the end of this movie specifically, it's heavy. It really is heavy. This is not a joking movie at all. It's not a joke, and it's not funny. And I really mean it's not funny. There's nothing in this movie. There's nothing in this movie. In fact, it's so awkwardly like, it just made me, there was times in this movie that I was just like, no, I just stop, just move on. I didn't feel like even though it was a 2-hour movie, I didn't feel like the pacing was slow. Don't get me wrong on that. I don't feel like it was slow pacing at all in any way, shape or form. Did I ever stop and go, what the, like, hurry up, make something happen? I did at the start. I was like, get on with it. But the pacing of it, like, it was really, there's just nothing happened at the start. Like, nothing is really very, very, very just bland start to a movie. I was just really like, nah, whatever. But his transformation into what he becomes and glorified, it's just pretty bad. Anyway, for any of you who know me, anyone who's been following me for any period of time, and I really appreciate all my subscribers. Thank you so much for everyone who's subscribed. Here's some trivia. So this movie is actually from the DC Comics, but it's actually meant to start a completely new era of DC movies. So Joaquin Phoenix actually lost so much weight to portray the role as the Joker that they had no time for reshoots at all. So what they filmed had to be what was. So what you see in the final act is exactly what you get. Todd Phillips actually stated that he had to write the script while in production of the movie. That's how serious Joaquin Phoenix's weight loss was. So apparently Joaquin Phoenix was actually a really good friend of Heath Ledger, who played Joker in The Dark Knight, which is my personal opinion, the best Joker in the history of cinema, in my personal opinion. Anyway, guys, have you had the opportunity to go and see Joker? If you have, please don't take your children. That's not a joke. If you have and you're older than 18 plus or whatever, what did you think about it? Leave your comments below. I'd really appreciate your feedback. That'd be absolutely amazing. If you have, please leave a like on this movie review. That gives me feedback and lets me know that you like my content. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. For all my subscribers, I really value it. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please click the bell for notifications. Anything I drop anything, you'll get it straight away. And until my next review, please take care of yourselves. This isn't a joking matter, and this is Superman Steve.